Right, awesome. Yeah, let's do day 7. So this one is on log analysis. It's to take revenge for the company demoting him to regional manager during the acquisition. Tracy McGreedy has installed Crypto Miner, a malware that he downloaded from the dark web, on all the workstations and servers. Even more worrying and unknown to McGreedy, this malware includes a data stealing functionality which the malware author benefits from. The malware has been executed and now lots of unusual traffic is being generated. What's more is that large bandwidth of data is seen leaving the network. Forensic McBlue has assembled the team to analyse the proxy logs and understand suspicious network traffic. Why is my text?
But I have doubt for second question answer. Frowning face.
Oh no. Well, hopefully we'll get to it in a sec. So there's suspicious network traffic leaving, and in this learning outcome, we're going to focus on the vital learning to assist Forensic McBlue in uncovering potential incidents. We're going to revisit log files and their importance. We're going to understand what a proxy is and breaking down the contents of a proxy log. We're going to build on our Linux command line skills and parsing log entries manually. And we're going to analyse a proxy log based on a typical use case. So what is a log? So before analysing the data set of proxy logs, let's revisit what log files are. A log file is the digital trail of what's happening behind the scenes in a computer or software application. It records important events, actions, errors, or information as they happen. It helps diagnose problems, monitor performance, and record what a program or application is doing. For clarity, let's look at a quick example. So the example above is an entry on the Apache web server log. We can interpret it easily by breaking down into each value into its corresponding purpose. So we've got an IP address, which is the source, computer that initiated the HTTP request. We've got the timestamp, which is the date and time that the event occurred. A HTTP request, which is the type of HTTP request made, including the request method and the URI and the HTTP version. Then we've got the status code, so this is the response of the web application. The user agent, which is the user agent string made by the client, who, like the browser that made that HTTP request. Being able to interpret a log entry allows you to contextualize the events, whether for debugging purposes or for hunting potential threat activity. So what is a proxy server? Since we know the data to be analysed as a proxy log, we have to understand what a proxy is. A proxy server is an intermediary device between your computer or device and the internet. When you request information from a web page, your device connects to the proxy server instead of connecting directly to the target server. The proxy server then forwards all your requests to the internet, receives the responses, and sends them back to your device. To visualise this, look at the diagram below. So you've got the top one without a proxy server, where the user attempts to access google.com, just goes directly to google.com. With a proxy server, the user attempts to access google.com, it goes to the proxy. The proxy makes the connection to google.com and then relays back the response. So proxy servers offer enhanced visibility into network traffic and user activities. Since it logs all web requests and responses, this enables system admins and security analysts to monitor which websites users access. When and how much bandwidth is used, it also allows admins to enforce policies and block specific websites or content categories. Given that our task is hunting suspicious activity on the proxy log, we'll need to know what possible malicious activity can be seen inside of one. Let's elaborate on a few common examples of malicious activity. So one attack technique is to download a malicious binary. So you will want to look for a connection made to a known malicious URL. We have data exfiltration, so a high count of outbound traffic due to a file upload. Continuous C2 connections, so this could be a high count of outbound connections to a single domain in regular intervals. And finally, we'll expand further on the concepts in the following tasks. So today's task, we only need the VM that we've already started.
Filter says, so there's no HTTPS/certificate pending in this scenario. Frown.
You might need to do the subscriptions and get the more advanced ones for that. But yeah, we just need a split screen, which we've got, and We have to understand log contents and start the machine if you haven't already. If it doesn't show up, do the show split screen view. And the VM contains a proxy log file in home Ubuntu desktop artifacts, which is on the desktop. There we go. So we can verify this by clicking on the terminal icon and then running the following commands, or if you've just done what I do, which is open the folder, just right click it, open in terminal, and you're already there. So ls access log, right. You can skip the following section if you are familiar with Linux commands cat, less, head, tail, wc, and nl. Anyone want to see that? No, I can go through them as we go. So, right, we need to chop down on the proxy log. So log McBlue tells us that he's configured the Squid proxy server to use the following log format. We've got timestamp, source IP, domain port, HTTP method, HTTP URI, status code, response size, and user agent. Let's look at one of the log entries as an example and compare it to the above format. So 1 is the timestamp, 2 is the source IP, 3 is domain and port, and then we've got HTTP method, get, URI, which is slash, status code 400, response size 630, and then browser string. So we've got that. As you can see in the table above, we can break the log entry into its specific positions and give each value like an index so it can be interpreted. And now let's continue with another Linux command tool to split the log entry per column. This is the cut command. So if we use cut, this allows us to extract specific sections, columns from the lines of the file in an input stream by cutting the line into columns based on delimiters. Selecting which columns to display, this can be done using the -d option and -f for the position. The example below shows us how to use a space as a delimiter and only displays the timestamp column after cutting the log with a space. So just cut -d, put a space in, -f1, access log, we get all the timestamps. It's also possible to select multiple columns just like we did before. In this case you would add column 1, column 3, column 6 to the F. So that then gives you domain, port, status code. So we just 1, -2, -3, not hyphen, commas. Right, lastly we have a space delimiter that won't work if you plan to use the user agent string, since that string can contain a space. So yeah, space, space, space. That would then generate like an additional column, an additional column, an additional column, which is not desired. We want the whole string. Given this, we have to change the delimiter and select column 2 because the user agent is enclosed within double quotes. So we do cut -d and double quote to access log. So there we go. So now we get the user agent strings. In the example above we use 2 because column 1 will provide the content before, so that's all the rest of the log, and then the final part is the string. If we execute cut df1 access log, then that gives us the front part of the log, so we can do that. Cool, so now we look at pipes. In the previous section we looked at some Linux commands that are useful for investigation. To utilize all the commands and produce an output that we can provide meaningful information, we can use pipes. In Linux and Unix-like operating systems, a pipe, or the pipe character, which is next to the Z on my keyboard, is a way to connect 2 or more commands and make them work together seamlessly. It allows you to take the output from one command, pass it into another command, and then we'll introduce some more commands as we go through some use cases. To get the first 5 connections made by 10.10.140.96, to do this we'll combine grep with the head command. So grep is a command line tool in Linux used for searching text strings within files or input streams. It typically follows the syntax grep options or string, but in this case the string is 10.10. 140.96, and then access log. So then that highlights all the places where it found that pattern. We can limit the display to the last 5 entries by just running it again, which I think everything's in the way, so let's clear. If you do pipe head N5, I think it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, you run that, and then it limits it to 5 views, 5 lines. Right, the first command's output is too long and overwhelming. It provides every connection made by the specific IP. Meanwhile, appending a pipe with the head command limits the result to 5. To get the list of unique domains accessed by all workstations, we'll use the sort and unique commands along with the cut. Sort is a Linux command used to sort the lines of text into input streams in ascending to descending order, while the unique command allows you to filter out and display unique lines from a sorted file or input stream. The unique command requires the sorted list to be effective because it only compares adjacent lines. So if you don't sort, it will mess up the unique. Right, to achieve the goal we have to start by getting the domain column and removing the port. To do this we have to list the domains, we sort and unique them, and then we further cut it. Oh no, there we go. So they're getting the access log, splitting it with a space, then cutting it with that to get the domain. And then after they've got the domains, they sort the domain. And then they unique the domains, so they only get the unique occurrences instead of getting like a triplicate of that. Cool. So to display the connection count made on every domain, we have already got the list of unique domains based on the previous use case. Now that we only need to add some parameters to the commands to get the count of each domain access. This can be done by adding the C option to the unique command. So just add that and it sticks a count on the start. Right, moreover, the result can be sorted again based on the count of each domain using the N option. So sort N. And then based on the result you can see the count of connections made to each domain is sorted in ascending order. If you want to make the output appear in descending order, use the R option, and then this can also be combined with N to like -N, NR if written together. Right, yes, that's NR. So then you can play with these above commands to test the capabilities of combining Linux commands using pipes. So now the meat of the task, we have to hunt down the malicious traffic. So we have to develop the skills needed to assist Forensic McBlue. Let's get down to business. To start hunting for suspicious traffic, let's try the list of top domains accessed by users, see if the users accessed any unusual domains. So I'm just going to copy that into my tag box. So paste that into clipboard. So there we go. So there's the top 10. Note that we use tail N10 since the list is sorted in ascending order. Because of this, the domains with highest connections are at the end of the list. Check the list domains and you'll see that Microsoft owns most of them. Out of the 10 domains that we can see, it seems unusual. Let's have a look. Let's use the domain with the grep head commands to retrieve the 10 connections made to it. So Microsoft.com, Office.com, Microsoft, Bing, Office, Frostlings, Big Stash, THM, that's probably one. Let's copy you. Let's do it in a new tab. Right, so we do grep. Access log, pipe it into head, N5. There we go, so then we've got the first 5 results in that list. Upon checking of the list of requests made to redacted, we see something unusual with the string pass to the goodies parameter. So here we go, so goodies is getting some, looks like base 64 text. Let's try to retrieve that data by cutting the request into the by the URI with equals as the delimiter. So this time we're going to do grep frostlings access log, and we're going to cut by a space. We're going to get F5, which is the URI. Then we're going to cut again, -d, and we're going to get the equals parameter. And then we want F2, because that gets, if you think you've got the goodies bit, equals, and then we want the base 64 at the end. So there's that. Based on the format the data is sent, it looks to be base 64 encoding, so if we take that same response and then do base 64 at the end, -d, so we decode the strings. Aha! So we now have... So it looks like a database breach. You've got like ID and then a MD5 hash or something, so there's the ID. Then recipient, so the name of the person, and then the gift that they were going to get. Do we notice that the decoded data seems to be sensitive data? This might be a case for of data extraction. Yeah, it looks like a database dump. So congratulations, you completed the investigation through the log analysis and you've uncovered stolen data. The next step for the blue team in this incident is to apply mitigation steps like blocking the malicious domain, which prevents the further impact, because instead of this leaking out to the C2, that endpoint would be blocked. So first question is, how many unique IP addresses are connected to the proxy server? So let's do another tab. We want to do cat access log. Oh, no, cat we want. Cut, delimit by space, F. So we need IP address, which is, go up to the log, 2. That should give us IPs, there we go, and then, so we want the unique IP addresses, so we need to do cut. You see that? I'll run it there. Where's the safe space up above my head? Right, so we'll sort, and then we'll unique. We don't need C, we want NL. There we go, so there's 9 IP addresses. How many unique domains were accessed by all workstations? So we want domain in this case, so domain is 3. So change F2 to F3, 118. No, alright. Okay, maybe it doesn't want the port, so let's take that, and then we'll cut it again. This time delimit by colon F1, so we get the front bit, and then we get 111. There we go, so 111. What status code is generated by the HTTP request to the least access domain? So we want sort. So that's the domains. We want count, sort, reverse. So the least accessed is partner services. So we want the status code generated by the request to that domain. So we want grep guess I can just do that, just grep it. Reckon? Grep. Oh yeah, access log. Right, there we go. So access log.
You want just asking says. A?
A?
File
Yeah,
name.
file name. Yeah, I'm done. So yeah, put access log and then status request. Status code is 503. So 503. Based on the high count of connection attempts, what is the name of the suspicious domain? That was in here. Frostlings. So frostlings.bigbadstash.htm. What was the source IP of the workstation that accessed the domain? So we want, let's just grep that one. So grep frostlings, and this was 10.10.185.225. Thank you for the follow. Vardy Bile. Cool, so that's that one. How many requests were made on the malicious domain in total? So we can take my grep and let's sort unique count. It doesn't like that, so delimit by space F1. I guess that's what you want, isn't it?
Just to know that right.
F3 was domain, wasn't it? There we go. There we go. That's better. Just NL. Santa. All right. So 1581 will give you that. Cool. And then last one. Having retrieved the exfiltrated data, what was the hidden flag?
Thanks.
So we had the
Thought
flag.
it was Santa.
Alright, somewhere in here we've got a flag.
You want just asking says. NP. Translated from Spanish.
So we'll copy that flag. And that is the room. So if you enjoyed doing the log analysis, can't speak today, check out log analysis module, which is within the SOC level 2 path. Log analysis is, well, the first one's free, but it's part of the SOC level 2, which has a bunch of things in it, so there's probably see how much learning there is for that one module. 64 hours of training to get that whole thing completed. So yeah, if you want to do more than just 20
now can
minutes,
you clear my doubt, Sir Mike?
then you can sign up and do the extra ones. So yeah, that is the day done. What other doubts did you have? So second question you had. Clear what down? What doubts did you have?
Hacker Man. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.